Chosen one, take a moment to pause and let this truth sink into your spirit. Your presence here is no accident. You have not stumbled upon this message by chance. This moment was scheduled by heaven with precision, aligned perfectly with your path, and delivered at the exact second your spirit was prepared to receive it. This is divine timing. It is a sacred appointment. It is a whisper from eternity that meets you in this very now. God has been watching your trip more closely than you could ever imagine, chosen one. There is a book in heaven that remembers every sacrifice you made, every silent fight you fought, and every tear you held back. At this very moment, things in your life are changing. You are almost there with a supernatural breakthrough. Every voice that thought you were forgotten will be shut down by this sudden rise. People said you would never be able to handle their money, that doors would never open for you, and that you had missed chances. Now, heaven is about to release them in a way that no one can deny. Dear Anointed One, the time has come, for the revelation waits for an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false, as it says in Habakkuk 2:3. Even if it takes a while, wait for it. It will come and won't be late. And right now, that season has found you. You must enter this time with respect, hope, and an open heart, ready to receive what God is now showing you. Allow your spirit to settle into this world, chosen one, before doing anything else. Heaven had been moving for a long time before you saw any signs. The change you're about to go through did not start today. It started in secret, when you thought nothing was changing, that nothing was breaking through, or that nothing was answering. I need prophetic clarity from you, though. Heaven has been building the miracle you are about to make piece by piece, layer by layer, breath by breath. You won't be the only one who feels the blast coming your way. To everyone who thought your quiet meant the end of your story, it will be felt. Chosen one, God is about to turn what seemed like the strongest proof that He had abandoned you into the strongest proof that He still loves you. This is not a theory, so I say that with gravity. This isn't just fancy language. There is a spiritual law behind this. What God wants to be hidden can't stay hidden forever. It is impossible to ignore something that has been marked forever. What God has breathed on must rise in the end. This is something I learned the hard way during a time in my life when everything seemed to go against the promise over it. People thought that my silence meant I had lost. They thought I was weak because I was waiting. They thought God had forgotten about me because I didn't have anything big or impressive to show. But what they didn't know was that God hides the best seeds in the dirtiest places. You have experienced exactly that, chosen one. Incubation, not empty, was what your silence meant. To be still wasn't the same thing as being stuck, it was stabilization. And the road that seemed blocked wasn't a rejection, it was a divine interruption. This is because heaven won't let you enter a blessing before you're ready to carry it. The evidence of that heavenly preparation is now beginning to emerge. People who thought you weren't being paid attention will soon find out what divine timing really looks like. Because the coming change is not a small thing. It's not kind. Not a small thing. The signature of God can be seen in this kind of change. A change that doesn't speak but shouts. Not a suggestion, but a move that backs it up. It's a change that doesn't ask for permission but takes over your life anyway. In your very heart, chosen one, hear this. You're about to become impossible to ignore. Also, praise from other people won't make you impossible to miss. It's not being accepted by groups that never thought you were valuable. You feel the weight of heaven on your life. The mood around you is changing because you've reached the adult stage of your life's purpose. The time has come for what was planted in secret to come to light. As the prophet Habakkuk wrote in Habakkuk 2:3, "The vision may wait for its appointed time, but when that time comes, it will not remain silent." That's where you are right now, on the verge of being happy. Let me talk to the part of you that still wants to know why now. Why now that so much time has passed? Why after being quiet for so long? Because the person you were at the start of this journey is not the person you are now. Your faith has grown. You have been baptized in fire with strength. Your personality has grown stronger. Things that used to be able to break you can't even bend you now. You can't be distracted by what you used to be distracted by. What used to scare you doesn't have any power over you anymore. You were rebuilt from the ground up, chosen one. And what's even more amazing is that you didn't even notice it. You just walked on. You prayed over and over. You kept picking what was right even when it was easier to do something else. You held on to a sense of calm even though chaos was yelling for your attention. Your spirit kept rising even when your life tried to pull you back to small things and old habits. Heaven never had any questions about you, even when you did. God never thought less of His work in you, even when you didn't think you were valuable. Now, that quiet, steady respect is about to show itself in a good way. Not because you suddenly look lucky, but because they never saw the work you put in to get ready for it. This is why people will be shocked. They never saw the nights when you were barely hanging on. They never saw the tears you wiped away before anyone else could. They never saw the silent fights you had over your feelings. The times you chose to forgive when it seemed easier to be angry were never seen by them. They never saw the fights inside you that made you strong on the outside. Chosen one, heaven saw everything. Also, heaven has decided that the time to be hidden is over. The very things that seemed to make fun of you before will now be the setting for your calling. The doors that used to close on you will now open themselves without any trouble. You will no longer be moving against your own will, so the road that seemed impossible before will now seem easy. Right now, you are moving in divine alignment. As this time that heaven has drawn you into grows longer, chosen one, I want you to understand something that most people don't understand until it's too late. If God wants to raise you up, He doesn't start by changing your surroundings. He starts by changing what you can do. He makes your faith stronger, your discernment better, your endurance better, and your goals better. All of this doesn't happen in public. It happens in the dark, in the places where you didn't feel seen, honored, or understood. You thought you were being passed over, but heaven was actually getting your spirit ready for the next level. You're in the right place at the right time. Divine timing is never random. It was built with great care. And now that heaven is ready to show you what you carry, your whole life is beginning to change to fit that purpose. You may not be able to see the whole picture yet, but you can feel it. The still, small movement in your chest that lets you know something unknown is already moving. Chosen one, I need you to fully understand this. The things that used to bother you were not signs that you had failed. These things were calls for you to grow into the person who can handle the gift that is coming. There have been times in my life when it seemed like all the doors shut at the same time, when prayers didn't seem to get to heaven, and when the silence was stronger than hope. But it was during those times that God shaped me. Not by making things easy, but by being sure, not by praise, but by getting things in line. You have gone through the same process of polishing. You were told to stand firm even when no one was cheering, to be there even when no one was looking, and to tell the truth even when your voice shook. You were obedient in the dark, which got you ready for the chances that will soon shine a light on everything God has placed in you. As heaven starts to pull you up, you'll realize that this height is not what the world thinks of as success. It won't come from trying too hard or being desperate. It will show up after you give up. You knocked harder than anyone else, but the doors that are ready for you won't open. They're opening because your spirit has grown up to the level where heaven can hear it. Breakthroughs are bound to happen when divine timing meets spiritual readiness. Right now you're at that doorway, and those who thought your silence, humility, and waiting were signs of inaction are about to witness a turning point that is clearly God's work. Chosen one, you are being raised in a way that doesn't need to be explained. Your present will speak louder than your past. People will not understand how you lived through something that should have killed you, how you keep going even though things seemed hopeless, and how you kept your heart soft when it would have been easier to become hard. When they meet you, they will feel something is different. It will feel like peace wrapped in power, strength wrapped in grace, and humility wrapped in an unnatural weight. It's not by chance that vibe is there. It shows what you got through in private, and no one can stop the process once God says it's your time. People who previously didn't believe you will change their minds. The rooms that ignored you before will now ask you to be there. That is, the doors that wouldn't open before will now open easily. This isn't because you changed who you are to fit their needs. Why? Because your real self has finally come to the fore. Congratulations. You're moving on to a lighter part because you no longer have to prove your worth. You are moving into a part that seems clearer because there can't be confusion in a place where everything is in sync. This next part of your life's journey feels holy because it was written just for you at this time. Chosen one, heaven is preparing to defend you as well as to bestow blessings. Under the light of the truth that God is about to shine, all the mistakes, lies, accusations made against you, and assumptions made about your path will go away. You're not being helped to show them they're wrong. You are being raised to show that God is right. And heaven always clears things up in a way that leaves no room for doubt. Your own life will be used as proof. Every hard thing you've been through makes you stronger. Every delay turns into a way to reach your goal. Every commitment is like a seed that grows when the time is right. This is the time of year when your identity will talk for you. Not your explanations, not your defenses, and not your attempts to show this in your heart. At this point, God has joined the story. There is clarity in everything when God steps in. Everything works together as it should. Everything that seemed random turns out to have a meaning. You are about to enter a time of supernatural flow when things that used to be very hard will start to happen without much trouble. That ease doesn't mean you're lazy. It comes from being aligned. It's the reward for keeping true when it would have been easier to give up. It's the result of what heaven planted long before you saw any growth. Breathe this in, chosen one. Something strong is moving toward you. It won't just disappear without a trace. Opposition will not put it at risk. It's going to last because God built it. After years of living with doubt, you are now moving into a stable state. After times of being confused, you are now moving into understanding. After going through valleys that made you think your purpose was gone, you are now moving into your purpose. There was no point to anything. There was no loss. Everything that happened led up to what is now beginning. If you know in your heart that this is the time for your vindication, make your deal official. If you believe that God is stepping into your story and showing himself right through it, type Amen in the comments. I want you to feel the scope of what heaven has been planning for your life as the next part of this revelation comes to light. Chosen one. You often wondered why the journey seemed so lonely, why your path became more crowded while others seemed to have more room to move, and why some people disappeared just when you thought they were supposed to stay. This was not giving up, it was aligning. When God gets ready to lift someone up, he gets rid of anything that can't exist at higher levels. Not things were being taken away from you. You were being made clean. Every time there was split, there was a reason for it. During every quiet time, there was a plan. Every question that wasn't answered held a secret kindness. That pruning is now over in heaven, and the fruits of that pruning are about to come into your life. You have been loyal even when it didn't seem like being loyal would pay off. Even when it wasn't clear, you kept going. You kept believing even though there wasn't much proof. Even when anger begged you to choose it instead, you kept forgiving. In this way of obeying, heaven looks up to you. God can give someone this kind of character the power, influence, and wealth they need. It may have felt like your life was frozen for years, like everyone else was moving forward while you were stuck. Heaven wasn't stopping you, though. It was protecting you, so that when the time came for you to be shown off, nothing could change what God had set in you while you were being grown in silence. You can feel that something is changing in the spirit, even though you can't say what it is yet. There are more and more aha moments. Things are getting better inside of you. Your ability to identify is getting better. Before it's obvious, you can tell when something is wrong. You can tell when something is right before it goes through. That sensitivity isn't a fluke, because the next part of your life requires more than just work. This is proof that heaven has raised your spirit to a higher frequency. You're not going into a time when you have to fight for chances. You are about to enter a time when opportunities will see your calling. Chosen one. The progress that is coming to you is not just for you, it is for future generations as well. Breaking patterns in your family tree is the healing you asked for. People who follow you will be able to depend on the strength you have built up. The choices you made through tears are giving people freedom who you haven't met yet. You're not just rising for yourself. You're rising for a whole family that heaven would not let die in cycles of fear, lack, and restriction. You are the one who breaks the patterns that used to hold your family together. You are proof that God can take someone from ashes and turn them into a live story of grace. Now, chosen one, the places where you felt the most pressure are about to become the places where you receive your biggest gift. The money that used to feel tight is now entering a time of magical plenty. Relationships that used to drain you are being replaced by divine connections. The chances you missed in the past are coming back to you in a better form. Heaven is more than just getting back what you lost. You asked for something good, but heaven is giving you something better. The wealth that was meant for you is beginning to find you. It's not because you were looking for it, but because your spirit has grown up enough to handle plenty without getting corrupted by it. I want to tell you a personal story about something I learned in my own time in the woods. There were times when I thought God wasn't paying attention to me. There were times when I thought heaven had stopped talking. There were times I thought the promise was going away. But I learned that God's silence is not his absence. It is his art. He works behind the scenes when being seen would get in the way of the process. He lines up the things you can't see so that when the gift comes, it fits you perfectly. Every time I felt like God had forgotten about me, he was building a future I couldn't see yet, and picked one. The same is true for you. Heaven has been carefully putting together its plans for your life. People will be shocked not because of your gift, but because of when it comes. They will think it happened quickly, but you'll know that it took years to make. Each quiet prayer, each night spent by yourself, each secret sacrifice, and every choice to stay true when it would have been easier to give in set the stage for the miracle that is now on its way to you. What will be shown will not be subtle. People who didn't believe in you will have to rethink everything they thought about you after this change. It's not because you want to be liked, but because God is saying something through your life. Chosen one, get your heart ready. What's on the way is important. It gives you power, duty, influence, and effect. However, it also brings happiness, comfort, peace, and pleasure. You are about to enter a time when blessings won't feel like battles, miracles won't feel like secrets, and success won't feel like just getting by. You won't have to fight through this season. You will grow into this season. Heaven doesn't want you to work hard. You are being asked by heaven to give up. Chosen one, I want you to feel how holy this moment really is. As we go deeper into what heaven is showing you about your life, every person goes through times in their life when what they can't see is greater than what they can. Many people have been through that season longer than you have. You have carried silent burdens that no one noticed, prayed prayers that seemed to go unanswered, and been under pressures that were about to break your heart. Still, your heart didn't break. It got longer. It got bigger. It was made stronger in places you didn't know needed it. What you thought was a time of waiting was actually a time when God strengthened you and made you strong enough to handle what is now coming your way. And chosen one, what is coming up for you is not unimportant. As it did with you, heaven doesn't prepare souls for anything less than amazing. There were times in your life when you didn't understand why the road got darker instead of lighter. The silence got louder instead of quieter, and the pressure built up when you thought you had nothing left to give. But those times were not signs that God had left you. They were signs that He was leading you into deeper ground. You became smarter because of the darkness. You could hear things that the world couldn't say because of the silence. Being under a lot of stress made you use a strength that God had given you before you got to this point. Every problem turned out to be a teacher. Every setback turned into a tool for shaping. Every season that seemed empty was actually putting seeds in you that you would need for the next part. Chosen one, you have been through valleys that tried to make you think that your mission was going away. Still, heaven was telling you who you were even in those dips. You were getting rid of parts of yourself that you couldn't take with you into the future, not your sense of who you were. There is a reason why some relationships broke up. Some ideas changed for a reason. There was a reason some doors wouldn't open even though you really wanted them to. This wasn't a punishment from heaven. It was to protect what you were becoming. When God is getting ready to lift someone up, He gets rid of anything that can't hold the weight of the blessing on their life. You didn't know it at the time, but each breakup made psychic space for the blessing you are now entering. You have been picked, And now the divine reversal that is happening will shock you. One morning, you'll wake up to find that the weight you carried has turned into insight. You will go into places that used to be scary and find that peace is already there. You will see chances come up that just a few months ago would have seemed impossible. There will be an eerie ease to your steps. It's not that your life is perfect now. It's that your spirit has grown up enough that it no longer fights wars that were never yours to fight. Your rise isn't coming from working hard. It's coming from being in the right place. Now you are finally in line with who heaven always said you were. I'd like to tell you something from my own life. Through some parts of my life, I thought God was silent because I couldn't feel him there. I thought the silence meant there was a gap. Still, looking back, I can see that the times when God seemed to be quiet were the times when he was working the hardest. Not a single tear was missed. Every prayer was heard and answered. Every dream was taken into account. God was writing parts of the book that I wasn't ready to read yet. And you, chosen one, he has been doing the same thing for you. What you thought was stillness was actually a quiet explosion of planning that only God could see. The unveiling is moving from the spiritual to the physical now. Other people will start to act differently toward you. They may not understand why being with you has such an indescribable weight, but they will feel it. You are becoming a version of yourself that can't be avoided, brushed off, or undervalued. People will follow your lead. People will feel what you say. Your choices will make sense. People who didn't see your worth before will suddenly see it because heaven is breathing on every part of who you are. What is about to happen, chosen one, is not just a gift, but also vindication. People who thought your hidden season meant you would fail will see the results of what you built in secret. People who thought your silence meant you had lost will see how strong you became by being alone. People who thought you were lost will find out that you are actually being planned, kept, and placed. You are not rising because you fought harder than everyone else. This is your appointed time, as decided by heaven. And an appointed time doesn't fight with tardiness. It takes precedence over it. What used to fight you will now start to move toward you. This is the start of a magical shift. The chances you were missing before will now come to you. The understanding that seemed far away will now lead you. The benefits that seemed to be blocked before will now come right on time. You are about to enter a time when things will speed up instead of slow down, where peace will replace stress, and where purpose will speak louder than fear. And chosen one, the world isn't ready for the new you that is coming out now. Now is the time for action. Go to the comments and type with faith, "The new version of me is emerging." This will show that you agree with heaven and become this new person. As you type it, feel the old hurts leaving you and the strength of your true self coming to the surface. Feel how the air around your life is changing as we move on to the next level of discovery. Chosen one. There has been a divine stirring going on in the background, almost silently, but steadily. You felt it when your spirit suddenly woke up with hope for no apparent reason. You felt it when an indescribable peace fell over things that used to make you anxious. You've seen it happen when doors that used to stay shut tightly started to open and close on their own. This stirring is not a coincidence. It's heaven telling you that the time for your heavenly emergence has come. Breaking, building, honing, and rising have been cycles in your life that feel like prophecies. I felt like the breaking wasn't fair. The building was slow. The polishing was painful, and the rising was late for years. To the chosen one, though, each turn has brought you closer to becoming the person who can handle what is coming. Heaven doesn't rise before its time. When you rise without preparing, you fall. But when you rise after preparing, you reach your fate. Today, you are walking into your fate, not because you asked for it, but because you fought for it. You need to know something important about yourself. You don't get to the top like other people do. You get better by discovery. You rise by giving up. You get ahead by following the rules when no one is looking. Your strength has never come from being perfect. It has been built on toughness. Even though life hit you harder than you thought it would, your spirit didn't give up. You learned to lean on God instead of being angry when people let you down. You learned how to hear heaven better when you had to be quiet because of something. Not many people have these traits. They are the signs of someone who has been picked for a high position. Chosen one. What's coming will not be a weak gift. It's not going to get away from you. You won't lose it as soon as you start to grasp it. People who build without God will get weak benefits. But what heaven makes can't be moved. You'll feel more stable in this next part of your life than ever before. You are about to enter a time when resources will flow more freely. Chances will feel like they were meant to be taken, and choices will feel like they were made with guidance rather than pressure. This is because you are no longer being trained in heaven. Heaven now has faith in you. Let's talk about how much weight you have. People have already started to notice that something is off about you. Even if you don't know it yet, you feel like you have a quiet power about you now. The change can be felt by everyone, even those who don't know your story. That smell comes from someone who has been through fire, without letting it define them. You have the scent of someone who has survived and kept going, a glow of someone who has been kept living for a reason bigger than they could have imagined. With this in mind, some places can no longer hold you. This is why some relationships don't feel right anymore. When God raises up an individual, He also raises up their environment and their chosen one. The surprise that heaven is planning for you will affect both those who didn't believe in you and those who did. The people who prayed for you, pushed you, helped you, or just gave you room to grow. These people will also be blessed by your good luck. God doesn't raise people up by Himself. He rises up in excess. Other people will rise with you. Your healing will help other people get better. Your success will make ways for other people to get where they want to go. You are not just lucky to have God's favor. You carry it with you. Also, your voice will get stronger again this time of year after life tried to take it away. There was a time when telling the truth felt risky. There were times when being true to yourself cost a lot, and using your voice was like going into war. However, your voice is coming back clearer now. What you say is important. The world needs what you see. The world needs what you have to offer. The world needs the view that can only come from someone who has been through darkness and made it through. Heaven didn't save you to be quiet. It kept you alive for power. Breathe deeply, chosen one. Take this truth to heart. You are not going into a time of trying. You are about to enter a time of getting. You're not going into a time when you have to prove yourself. You are about to enter a time when heaven will notice you. You are not going into a time of doubt. You are now in a time when your purpose, identity, and goal all fit together easily because they are finally fully grown inside you. Heaven is pulling you into the next level, which is making your life more spiritually heavy. Now the blessing that seemed far away, the promise that seemed impossible, and the breakthrough that seemed far off are right outside your door. Heaven doesn't want you to go after them. They will find you because heaven told them to. Chosen one, as we move on to the next part of your trip, I want you to feel how important what heaven is doing in the background is. Your physical eyes can't yet understand the changes going on around you, but your spirit has already felt them. You've felt a soft pull away from things that used to feel safe. You've felt the soft stirring that lets you know the new season is different from the old one. You've sensed a quiet courage growing inside you that wants you to let go of old identities, old stories, and relationships that don't fit with your new direction. All of this is planned. Right now, nothing in your life is a surprise. It's not just heaven that's planning your rise, it is also planning your separation from anything that could hurt it. Chosen one. Many people didn't think much of you because they didn't know how to write your story. They thought the wilderness had the last word because they saw you walk through forest seasons, because they saw you fight without help. They thought you were too weak to rise. They saw your tears and thought they showed that you were weak instead of that you were changing. But heaven saw something else. The strength of your will was seen by heaven. Heaven saw how you stuck to your goal even when it was hard. Heaven could see how strong you were even when you were quiet. The discipline you worked on alone and the confidence you grew when no one was watching. Heaven saw you grow as a person even though things didn't change for you. Now, heaven is getting ready to honor everything you worked on in the dark. There's a reason why God let some people get you wrong. He let some people go for a reason. There is a reason why people didn't see your worth when you were still growing. They would have tried to shape it, limit it, or claim ownership over it if they had seen the value in you too soon. But heaven kept you safe by hiding you. You were hidden not because you weren't good enough, but because you weren't finished yet, like a rough gem that is buried deep in the ground. You needed time to grow before you were shown. As of now, that time is almost over. What's about to be revealed will do more than just make you feel better. It will change how people who used to doubt you see you. Chosen one. What you've been through has made you ready for a rise that doesn't need to be justified. You are not about to go through a time when you have to prove your worth. You are about to enter a time when your worth will be clear. You're not being cocky with your newfound confidence. It is in line. You know for sure that you were safe when you walk through storms and find that you weren't wrecked. It takes wisdom to go through a broken heart and realize that your heart still beats with kindness and clarity. It's the power that comes from knowing that every hardship you've been through has added to the spiritual weight you now carry. There will be clear signs that God is in charge of the next part of your life. Chances will show up in places you didn't expect them to. Resources will appear from places you least expect them to. People who are in line with your goals will find you without you having to look for them. This is how magical acceleration works. Heaven isn't just blessing you, it's setting you up. You are getting something new that fits the person you have become in place of everything you lost. The sadness you were carrying is giving way to a peace that will hold you down. The fog that was blocking your view is lifting, revealing a clear view. The agonizing loneliness of the past is giving way to divine companionship and divine mission. I want to tell you something about myself, chosen one, something that changed how I think about when God wants things to happen. There were times in my life when I begged God to let certain things in. I begged for chances, relationships, and results that I thought were right for me. I started to doubt everything when those doors stayed shut. God, the promise, and the goal. But as time went on, I understood something very important. When the things I thought I wanted showed up early, they would have crushed me. I needed the time to wait. I needed the cutting back. The quiet was what I needed. I needed to be in pain. In no way were they punishments. They kept people safe. And it didn't take any force to open the right door when it finally did. It opened without any trouble because it fit with who I had become. Chosen one. It's also true for you. You don't have to push for what's coming next. You have to stand up for it. You have to trust to do it. It calls for you to live out the personality that heaven made you. When you walk into this field of gifts, they have grown up along with you. These good things did not grow while you were working hard. They got bigger while you gave up. Before we go any further, please understand that this word from the messenger is not only for you. It is a divine concept that when you give a blessing to someone else, you receive it more deeply yourself. You are not just sending a video when you share this message with someone who needs to hear it. You are releasing the anointing and making this change happen for more people in your network. As a sign of your faith, do it now. As the next wave of understanding enters your spirit, chosen one, I want you to see the sacred beauty of the present moment. Your life has changed the way it feels. You can feel it, even if you can't say it yet. The way you breathe is soft, and the way you walk is steady. There is a quiet hope that rises inside you at odd times. This is not a chance feeling. It's a connection of the spirit. It's finally time for your inner world to match the calling that heaven has put on your outer world. And getting in touch with yourself is the real start of success. Years have gone by during which you felt like you were living in a world of contradictions, full of promise while facing delays, clear vision while dealing with confusion, and strong faith while facing a lot of doubt. These inconsistencies weren't meant to make you weaker. They were made to improve your ability to live in the supernatural. The way someone is trained changes when they are picked. Their way isn't as wide. There are bigger lessons in them. Their fights are tougher. Still, they're rising faster. You picked one. They weren't punishing you. They were shaping you. Heaven used every moment that made you feel stretched to get you ready for how big what's coming will be. Chosen one, magical changes are happening in parts of your life that you thought would never change. Things that used to drain your energy are no longer holding you back. The relationships that were draining on your spirit are simply pulling away. There are places that used to stop your growth, that no longer fit with who you are. Spiritual evolution is what this is. Heaven isn't just giving you good things. Your energy is being raised to a level that can't be matched by anything that was holding you back. During this change, you may feel uncomfortable or even lost, but don't think that your pain means you are in danger. When there is discomfort, it means that growth has started. In a short time, your life will speed up in ways that will amaze even you. Things that used to take years to happen will now happen in weeks or days. Delays that will make you so angry that you'll suddenly fall apart. Prayers that seem to be stuck will start to come true with accuracy. See this? This is what divine timing looks like. It's not moving slowly. It moves quickly. You are now in a place where sudden clarity, breakthroughs, favor, and connections happen. These are not just random events. All of these signs show that heaven has put you on a road where resistance can't stop you. I want to share something with you that I learned during my own times of waiting. Often I felt like my prayers were not being heard, like God had taken a step back from my story. Whenever I thought I had taken on too much, though, something unexpected would happen. I realized that God was never late when a door opened. A person showed up, a word came, or things changed. He was always getting ready. He moved things around that I couldn't see and planned outcomes that I couldn't imagine. It wasn't that there was no sound. There was no point in waiting. And when the breakthrough did happen, it was in a way that made the whole time it took make sense. You are now experiencing that same level of awareness. Chosen one. The parts of the story God has been writing in you are now becoming clear. When people see your life, they'll wonder how fast things changed. You'll know it wasn't quick, though. It happened on time. Heaven doesn't do anything. Heaven is opening up. You are entering a season of recognition after a season of hiding. Not approval from self, but approval from point of view. There are ways that heaven is proving that your path is right. You will feel comfortable at this height, which is the most powerful thing about it. Not forced, not too much, not fragile, but natural. Because you've grown into the kind of person who can handle what's coming. You're not getting any gifts. You are becoming them. You are not getting the gift. It's coming from inside you. Breathe deeply, chosen one. Allow this truth to sink in. You're not starting a new book. You've reached the beginning of your real story. The one that was written just for you a long time ago, before you had your first failure, your worst heartbreak, or the chance to learn how strong silence can make you. Heaven will now lift you up. You can't be stopped. If you understand this strong truth, I want you to speak it over your own life. Type Amen in the comments to show that you agree with this unchangeable rise and that nothing can bring you down. I want you to realize how closely heaven has watched over your path as we go deeper into this discovery, chosen one. At times in your life, you may have felt like you had enemies you couldn't name, stresses you couldn't name, and a weight you couldn't explain. Even though things seemed calm in your life, your spirit felt like it was being watched. You didn't see how big the calling on your life was, though. You have a responsibility that makes people spiritually fight it. So heaven had to look out for you in ways you didn't always understand. Every delay, turn off, and locked door worked as a cover, not a hindrance. You were not being turned down, you were being protected. And now that the storm is over, heaven is getting ready to show you how much was kept safe for you. There were people who just left you without telling you why, leaving you hurt and confused. But heaven took them away because they were in the way of your progress. There were chances you really wanted but didn't take because they would have taken you away from divine alignment, not because you weren't fit. There were relationships that looked like they could work out, but they didn't work out because you failed, but because they couldn't handle the heights you were going to hit. It's getting clearer now, so you might not have seen it before. God wasn't holding back good things. He wasn't giving out real goods. Chosen one. It wasn't a sign of weakness that you felt heavy over the years. It showed that they were able. Heaven pushed you to hold more than usual so that you could carry things that other people would break under, to stay strong when other people would have given up. You built up endurance, but it wasn't made for the season you were in. It was made to fit the season you're leaving behind. Comfort never makes you stronger. Applause never makes identity better. Ease never brings out purpose. You were formed in the furnace of becoming. What you turned into in the fire is about to show itself to the light. From now on, your spirit doesn't need approval from people around you because heaven has already given it to you. That's why people don't get why you're so calm. That person doesn't get how you can stay calm in times of doubt or hope during changes. Their minds don't understand why you keep going when you should have given up a long time ago. This is the fruit of divine preservation, though, chosen one. Heaven pushed your roots deeper before letting your branches grow taller. Now, those roots are ready to hold up the gift that is growing on top of them. There is a strong truth you need to accept. The season you're entering doesn't match up with where you've been. You can see who you have become in it. Your past problems don't tell us anything about your future. They got it ready. The nights you cried alone are giving birth to the days you'll walk with joy. The times you felt like you were forgotten are making the times you will know for sure that you were picked. The prayers that didn't seem to be heard are now leading to breakthroughs that are even better than what you asked for. Heaven has been putting together a gift that tailor-made for your strength, growth, and ability. You are not going to get a general favor. It's a personalized favor, chosen one. I want to tell you something that I learned when life was very hard for me in every way. There were times when I wondered why God let me go through certain problems, why I felt like I had no one to talk to, and why there seemed to be more closed doors than open ones. But looking back, I saw that time answered every question I had not yet asked. I didn't have to figure out the season for God. During it, He asked me to trust Him, and when the shift finally happened, all the things I had been wondering about made sense. The people that left had to go. It was important that the doors that shut should stay shut. It had to be quiet for a long time so I could hear what heaven was making in me. You're now seeing the same pattern play out in your life. You have changed more than the person you were in the past could see. Your dreams are more clear. Your spirit is better. You can see things more clearly now. Your heart is also smarter. You no longer put up with things that used to drain you. You let go of the things that used to hurt you. You're no longer after what used to keep you busy. This means that your wings are ready for the height that heaven is taking you to. To get higher, you have to evolve, and the ones you picked have evolved beautifully. When something new comes into your life, you won't have to fight like you did in the past. Heaven already wrote your name on something, so you won't have to earn it. You won't have to say why you deserve the good things that are happening. You are about to enter a time of spiritual rest, a feeling of inner ease, not inaction. This door opened because you were good. You gained this strength by being tough. Your faith made this time possible. Breathe in this truth, chosen one. You're about to rise in ways that will surprise you. It happened because you were ready for it, not because you forced it. And being ready is always rewarded in heaven. Feel how everything in your spirit has begun to expand as we move into this next level of discovery, chosen one. You are becoming more brave in a quiet way, the strong kind that doesn't need noise to feel strong. This bravery isn't based on pride. It has to do with identity. You are starting to see yourself the way God has always seen you. The fears that used to steer your choices are slowly slipping away. As you become more aware of who you really are, the fears that used to hold you back are melting away. You are becoming more spiritually grown up, and as you get older, you gain power. Heaven is putting a mantle on your life that you can't take off, ignore, or doubt. There is an amazing thing going on inside you. You no longer want to be in places that are too small for you. You don't have to shrink to make other people feel better. No longer do you hide your gifts so that no one gets them wrong. Instead, there is a steady, holy, and obvious rising inside you. Getting higher is not a sign of pride. Divine remembrance is present. Heaven is telling you about the person you were before life made you less bright, before sorrow wrecked your trust and betrayal shredded it. You're not changing into someone else. You are becoming again the whole person you were meant to be. Chosen one, the level you're going up to won't just open doors for you. The weather will change. People will feel something different when you walk into a room, even if they can't put their finger on it. Your posture will exude power and grace on your presence. You will carry a weight that can't be made up or copied, a weight that comes from being able to weather storms without becoming hard. It's not often that you see this much weight. It's the mark of people who have walked with God through valleys that would have killed other people. It's proof of toughness that was made, not stolen. You are about to enter a time when heaven will use your life to show not perfection, but protection. Not in terms of achievement, but of goal. You will sometimes knock on doors and find them open without you even being there. There will be times when you don't have to look for gifts and when restoration comes from places you least expect it. These are not just random events. They prove something. They're a sign from heaven that I saw you. I thought of you. I will always remember the seeds you planted. Chosen one. Many of the big steps forward you're seeing now are not awards. They are replies. Responses to your patience when other people irritated you. Concerns about your honesty when giving in would have been simpler. How people responded to your faith when things tried to drown your hope. Thanks for your kindness during times when you barely had the strength to take care of yourself. Heaven doesn't forget about the seed that you sowed with all your heart. You will get back in happiness what you gave in tears. What you went through in silence, you will receive in public. You will also notice changes in the people you know. People who didn't see your worth before will now clearly see it. Your anointing is becoming visible, not because you changed. Your spirit is getting stronger. Your sense of self is clearer. There's more of you around. Some people will be deeply drawn to you because they feel that your life holds something holy. Others will pull away because your growth shows how stagnant they are. Let this happen on its own. Those who are called to rise with you will do so. People who aren't will be pushed away. Elevation naturally divides things that fate can't carry on. Chosen one. I want to share something I learned the hard way. There were times in my life when the good things I wanted seemed very far away. It made me wonder if I had been forgotten as I saw other people get what I had asked for. But in the end, the truth came out. God wasn't getting ready for the gift. He was getting me ready, because I wasn't the same person who had prayed for the gift when it finally came. I had grown into a person who could hold it without fear, care for it without doubt, and keep it safe without saying sorry. The time wasn't too late. It was great. The same beauty is happening in your life right now. You are about to have a breakthrough that will change the course of your life forever. Chosen one. This is not a short-term good thing. This is not a short-term rise. I believe this is a divine turning point. What used to hold you back will no longer be able to reach you. What was confusing you before will make sense now. What hurt you before will make your story stronger. You are entering a world of supernatural flow where everything just seems to stick together. Not because things are easy, but because your spirit is in sync. And now, for the truth that you must keep close. You're not getting up to show them they're wrong. You are rising to show that God was right. This is where your whole journey led you. Your pain, delay, and sacrifice have all helped shape the person you are now. who is about to change. Heaven isn't getting ready to bless you. It is getting ready to show you. Make sure you subscribe to this channel to stay in the flow of this divine alignment and receive the prophetic promises that heaven is giving at this time. It's like a promise to stay in touch with the frequency of your success. I want you to understand how heaven has been planning your steps with divine accuracy as this next reveal plays out. Chosen one. Even when you thought you were lost, you were never really lost. Everything was planned out, even during the times when nothing made sense. You are standing now, after fights that you didn't know were changing you. And the strength you have isn't like other strength. It's the strength of someone that heaven has been carefully shaping with a bigger picture in mind than what your eyes have seen. You are now at a point in your story where it starts to make sense all at once, like a light has been turned on over everything you have been through. At times on your journey, the weight of life was so heavy on your heart that you wondered if you would ever feel happy again. You were surrounded by darkness that was so quiet that most people didn't realize how heavy you were. No matter how bad things were, you smiled. When your spirit was empty, you gave hope to others. You showed up even though your faith was weak. You thought those times made you weaker, but they actually made you stronger in ways you couldn't see. Heaven used those times to build you up so that storms could no longer shake you. Every tear gave a seed water. Your strength was tested by every setback. Every breakup made room for more profound knowledge. It was all used up. Chosen one. Your spiritual journey is coming together piece by piece as a shift takes place right now. There was no chance in your life. Even the mistakes that keep coming back to haunt you taught you something. Even the losses that hurt you had secret gifts inside them. Even the betrayals that broke your trust were protecting you in secret. It's starting to become clear that God has been using everything, both the terrible and the beautiful, to make a tapestry. Because you've been through times that would have made other people give up, heaven can trust you with weight that other people can't handle. You've shown what's in your heart through fire. That fire will no longer burn you. It will now light you up. What you are stepping into is holy. Indeed, this is a big step forward. This is turning into. There's more to it than just stepping into blessings. You are walking into the version of yourself that was meant to hold them all along. The personality that is being born in you right now is strong, stable, and rooted. You're no longer moving from fear. You go from being aware. There is no longer any fear in the choices you make. Because you know better, you make them. You no longer wonder if you were picked. You know that the reason the road was so hard was because you were chosen. Your spirit is now mature in a way that can't be changed by events or people's views. You have changed into someone that heaven can easily raise. Chosen one, I want you to know that the fact that you are getting noticed is not a coincidence. It's about time. God's time doesn't come quietly. It comes in with power, weight, and clarity. The gifts that are coming together now are not as fragile as they were in the past. They carry the strength of everything you've been through. You're moving into a flow that makes you feel like you're following a path of favor. The doors won't just open. They will make you feel welcome. Opportunities won't just appear. They will connect themselves with your goal. You won't just be noticed. They will respect the substance you carry because it was built through honesty, sacrifice, and character. There was a time when you wondered why God let you fight so many secret wars, why your trip seemed to be full of quiet battles that no one could understand. But now that you can see more clearly, You can see that those fights built up the very muscles that heaven is using to lift you. When trusting seemed risky, you learned to do it. You learned to wait when it's too hard to do so. You learned to love when it's dangerous to do so. You weren't supposed to be broken by these lessons. They were meant to finish you off. While some people grow through good things, you grew through hard things. So your height will have depth because of that. You will be successful in an honest way. Your impact will show kindness. Heaven doesn't throw away pain. Chosen one, the kindness that is coming into your life will make you feel like you can breathe again after years of holding your breath. You will be able to move when you felt stuck, get understanding when you felt confused, and have plenty of things when you felt lacking. The cash breakthroughs that are happening to you are not just prayers answered. These things are tools for a reason. You are not getting rich to feel important. You are getting rich to complete tasks that need money. Heaven trusts you with things that other people have messed up because your heart is still pure where theirs fell. You did well on tests you were not even aware of, and now the prize for being so good is happening. There's something else going on that you may have felt but not fully understood. Heaven is giving you more power than you thought possible. Other people will look to you not because you asked for a platform, but because your life now has the clarity that other people want. When you talk, when you lead, and when you show up, they will feel something holy, steady, and healing. Many people will feel safe around you because you've been through storms that taught you to be kind. This power has nothing to do with status. It has to do with assignments. You are being given souls by heaven, not fans, and that trust is very important. Chosen one, take a deep breath and honor this truth. The change you're going through now can't be undone. You won't go back to old habits. You won't give in to old fears. You won't shrink to fit places you're no longer comfortable in. It is not possible for anything to stop you from rising. Not other people, not events, not fear, not waiting. Your elevation was planned by heaven, and heaven never says something it won't do. As we move forward on your trip, chosen one, I want you to realize how deeply heaven has been changing your inner world in order to get you ready for the change that is coming to your outer world. You might not know it yet, but this is the version of you. It's not the same person who went through the storms you thought would break you. You have changed in a way that is subtle but can't be denied. You're calmer now than you were before. You have knowledge that you didn't get from books or advice, but from living through things that should have killed you. You're sure of yourself without shouting, it just shines off of you. Heaven has been working on you in secret, and now the work that has been done in secret is about to come out without you having to say a word. In the past, there were times when there was a lot of noise around you. The thoughts, beliefs, hopes, and predictions of other people. But over time, heaven slowly drowned out all the other voices until you could only hear the important one. God kept you away from things that would confuse you, not to isolate you, but to make you better. You learned to hear your own spirit in the quiet. You learned to tell the difference between what was real and what was fake in the silence. During the silence, you learned to tell the difference between things that were in line with your soul and things that were pulling you away from your path. Now that you can identify, it's one of your best gifts, because the places you are being called to need a level of clarity that can't be faked. Chosen one, you were never meant to fit in. It never fit right, no matter how hard you tried. You cared too much, saw too clearly, and felt too much. People around you sometimes thought that your depth meant that you were strange or intense, but heaven put that depth in you on purpose. Emotional intelligence, spiritual sensitivity, and inner strength are things that normal ways don't ask of you, but the calling on your life does. While other people walked in straight lines, your path went around and around. It wasn't because you didn't know where you were going. God was putting you on a path that would make you stronger in every way. Now that your spirit is fully grown, your path is about to become clear in ways that will surprise you. It's beautiful how you kept going even though you didn't know what to do. That quiet persistence put you in the spotlight of God's attention long before anyone else did. Heaven took note every time you put honesty ahead of ease. Heaven noticed every time you decided to forgive instead of being angry. Heaven knew every time you chose patience when things were getting tough. There were a lot of options. They were seeds that had been growing below the ground while they waited for the right time. Now is that time of year. Picked one. There is a reason why you are about to walk into a field. It's years of obedience. For years, you did what was right, even if it meant giving up everything you knew. In the coming months, there will be times when you realize all of a sudden that the things that used to bother you don't bother you as much as they used to. Emotional triggers that used to make you upset will no longer be able to do that. The people who used to drain you will no longer be able to get to you. Things that used to stress you out will now seem small in comparison to how much you've grown. This isn't being proud. It changes things. Heaven has made it easier for you to keep the peace. No longer is your heart weak. It is made stronger. Your mind is no longer a mess. It has a base. Your spirit is no longer all over the place. It is straight. And when alignment sets into a soul, it's impossible not to rise. Chosen one, I need you to understand something very important. The gift that's coming won't be for the old you, and it's coming to the new you. It would have been too much for you if God had given you this gift earlier. Because you were afraid or insecure, you may have doubted your worth, your abilities, or your progress. But now something inside you feels more stable. You're now steady. You have a foothold. You have a strong sense of your own worth that can't be changed by what other people say. This knowledge makes you ready for the elevation that heaven is setting up. God does not encourage identity misunderstanding. He encourages clear identity. You, the chosen one, have finally become clear. There is also a deep healing going on inside you that is slight, but makes a big difference. You are recovering from terrible things that you didn't tell anyone about. You are getting better after being lied to and hurt. You are getting over disappointments that you claimed didn't bother you. You're getting better after times when you carried more than your heart could handle. You are getting better from times when you didn't feel seen, heard, or respected. Even though nothing has changed on the outside, you feel lighter because your spirit isn't carrying what used to make you feel trapped. Heaven has been taking off one by one the burdens that were on your soul. This makes room for the gifts that need emotional space. Chosen one, you may not be aware of it yet, but you have already passed a certain point. Your future began to open up as soon as you let go of what was hurting you, whether it was a memory, a person, a hope, or an identity. It's not a moment to rise, it's a change. You have moved too. Things that seemed impossible before now seem possible. The dreams that used to scare you now make sense. The wants that seemed too big at first now seem normal. This is what inner readiness looks like when your spirit grows big enough to hold the gift it could only dream of before. As heaven gets ready to show you the next part of your life, know that you will not go into it timidly. You will enter it with quiet power. When you walk into it, you won't say sorry for your calling. You'll be sure of yourself like someone who knows they made it through something that was meant to destroy them. Your rise is not the only thing that makes you higher. Being seen by the world in the way you were always meant to be seen is what it's about. You were hidden for a season, but the next one you won't be. It's time for God to put you in places that value your skills, respect your authenticity, and need your presence. Right now is the time to join in with what God is doing. Write in the comments, "I am aligned and ready for what is mine," to show that you are ready for the next part of your life. Don't take this as a comment. It's a spiritual message that you are no longer waiting and are now moving into the purpose that has been planned for you. Chosen one, as we move into the last part of your trip, let your spirit know how far you've come and how deeply heaven has brought you to this point. There is a holy turning going on in the air around your life, a subtle but noticeable change that marks the end of one cycle and the beginning of a new one. You are no longer on the edge of what might be possible. You've stepped into it. You have crossed the line between who you were and who you are becoming that can't be seen. And even though the world hasn't seen it yet, heaven has already told everyone about it. The thing that was holding you down is no longer there, and the grace that is rising inside you is stronger than anything that has ever tried to shut down your mission. There will be times when you look in the mirror and barely recognize the person who is looking back at you. You have finally become the whole person you were always meant to be, not because you have changed into someone else. The fears that used to tell you what to do no longer do. Patterns that used to repeat themselves no longer exist. The shadows behind you that used to have shape have lost it. Your spirit is stronger, more stable, and smarter now than it was before. You carry the signs of someone who has been through storms and come out the other side, not angry, but refreshed. Chosen one, as the new season wraps around you, recognize that what comes next will be different from what came before. You've fought for peace for years. Peace will now come to find you. You've spent years waiting for chances to come up. From now on, chances will come your way. You've prayed all night for answers. From now on, you'll naturally be clear. Do not strive for this next step. It's about getting something, not about going after. It has to do with lining up. It's not about showing, it's about turning into. The kindness in your life is changing from endurance to growth. Some people will look at you with fresh eyes and see a strength in you that they didn't see before. Don't be surprised when people who used to look down on you start to respect you, when places that used to reject you start to welcome you, and when rooms that used to feel closed off open their doors wide. This is not a mistake. Divine remembrance is present. There are clear, undeniable, and deeply personal ways that God is recognizing your strength. No one is putting you up to make fun of them. You are being raised up because you stayed true, even when things tried to break your heart. Breathe in this truth, chosen one. Your story is no longer quiet. The same God who helped you fight in secret is getting ready to show you off in places where your light will make a difference. You are following your fate, and heaven is behind you 100%. What has already started can't be stopped. What God has planned can't be changed by anything. What God has lit on fire can't be put out by anything. It's easy, natural, and powerful for you to rise into the life that has been waiting for you. Let your spirit take in all that heaven has said about you today. Chosen one. As we come to the end of this word, you're not going to leave this moment the same way you came in. You have changed in some way. Something very old has woken up. There is something divine that has come forward. Right now, you are in the middle of your Kairos moment. Long before you ever took your first breath, heaven wrote the exact appointed time into your story. There's nothing odd about this time. This rise is not a mistake in any way. You, anointed one, are moving with God as He moves. Chosen one. The supernatural shift that has been happening in the background is now pushing its way into the open. The change has already started, even if you don't feel its full force yet. The answers are getting closer. Doors are getting free. The atmospheres are changing in a way that helps you. What was put back is now being given out. What was delayed is moving faster. The person who never forgot about you is putting back together what was broken. God is now giving you respect, just like He did when you were hidden. This is not the start of your rise. It's being shown off now. Keep this truth in your heart as you leave this moment. Heaven has already called your name in places you haven't been yet. Favor is already on their way. Provision is in line with the goal. God has planned for you to meet people and form relationships. You are walking on different ground now that you are giving yourself tasks instead of being unsure. You're not hoping for a big step forward. As time goes on, you become proof of one. Every step you take from now on is guided by God's will. Chosen one, may the gift of clarity cover your mind. May the peace that comes from God fill your heart. May the blessing of being strong fill your bones. I pray that the gift of insight keeps you away from anything that wants to take away your calling. May the gift of courage help you go into places that used to scare you. And may the gift of supernatural speed take you to the places that heaven has been setting aside for you while you waited patiently. You are now entering a phase where you do not seek after what is yours. You get it. You don't try to be seen anymore. You give off a natural glow. You don't worry about losing anymore. You are rooted in the plenty that God has saved for you. This is your time to shine, be restored, and receive divine justice. Heaven is telling you out loud what you've been saying softly. Walk with thanks. Be sure as you walk. Expect things as you walk. The God who started this work in you is showing it to you right now. You are welcome to stay in touch with this space if this word moved you deeply, or if you felt heaven close as you listened. Talk about what touched your heart. Sign up if you feel moved, not out of habit, but out of place. This group should be a place where your faith grows, your hope grows, and your spirit is reminded of who you are and who you are becoming. Now is the time to go in peace, power, and prophetic certainty. Now your story is changing. Your fame is growing. It's now your turn. Click the like button on this video to signify your agreement in full. It could be a physical action that shows your spiritual acceptance and starts the flow of God's favor over your life. Also, tell at least one person you know about this word from the prophet. Sharing a solution makes it stronger for you. Make your gift work by letting it flow through other people. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's take a moment to reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is not a stroke of luck. It is a direct message from Archangel Michael to you. He's extending his hand and inviting you into a protected, high vibrational community where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise. This sacred principle is very simple, but it can change your whole life. If you follow it, you won't just receive blessings, they will be multiplied and flow into every part of your life. By accepting this invitation right now, you are unlocking immediate, early access to powerful content and divine insights that are hidden from the general world. Now is your chance to enter a sacred space where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this sacred moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join Archangel Michael's inner circle immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the direct, personalized messages that are specifically meant to elevate and empower your life. If you desire to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And for those who feel called to amplify this work, a link to buy me a coffee is available. Your support is completely optional, but your presence, attention, and energy already mean the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.